Show me ads like these? So we've got two kinds of poison. We have strawberry flavored poison, and we've got vomit flavored poison. Here is the strawberry flavored poison. Would you like more poisons like this? No, I should say yes, but I really want to say no. Why don't you have your pronouns down? Why are you asking me if I should show you ads like this? YouTube, watch whatever you want. I love live music. I can remember growing up that there was a festival in the town near where I grew up, and they had live open air bands every year. It was my freshman year in college, and I brought my very first college girlfriend home for the weekend. And my brother, who was still in high school at the time, and his friend, and my father, and my then girlfriend, went to this festival to see a band, which we all had heard of before and enjoyed, called Nickel Creek, a favorite band of mine still. And my brother brought a sign, stoked on by his friend. They were a comic duo. On one side, a big poster board sign, it said, "Give us your drumstick." As a bluegrass band, they don't play drums, and they don't have any drumsticks. On the opposite side of the poster board, they had written, "Just kidding, can we have a pick?" Chris Thiele, who's the lead singer of the band, looked out over the crowd in between songs and saw the sign and was duly confused because they don't play drums and they don't have drumsticks. I remember he distinctly leaned over to Sarah Watkins, who was playing the violin in the band, and pointed to the sign. "Hey, do you see that sign? Do you see that sign?" As is wont to happen with the weather in Alabama that time of year, a thunderstorm rolled in about that time, and it began raining, and most importantly, it began lightning. And an outdoor festival can't go on in the lightning. The producers of the festival shut it all down. They turned the power off, and everybody was rather disappointed. I think most disappointed was the band itself. A very few minutes later, sun popped out again and things began to dry up, but because everything was wet, the power still couldn't be turned on. So what they did was they jumped off the stage, walked in a protected corridor into effectively the audience, and began to play with their instruments without any power. This was basically the best thing ever. The truth about music is that it's meant to be experienced close up, and the audience is meant to be able to respond to that playing. Small audiences are where the best connection between musician and audience occurred. This turn of events also gave my brother and his friend the opportunity to walk up to Chris Thiele, and he did in fact give them his pick. There's something important about being able to get close to a musician, to an excellent musician, communicating with their music. When musicians become really popular, of course, they begin to get farther and farther away. They have to pack in larger and larger crowds. Even though as an audience goer, I may be having an emotional experience with the music itself, it's nearly impossible for the musician to experience that and for us to have a sympathetic relationship. I was reminded of how awesome close-up music and the experience that you can have with a musician is this last weekend when Amber Rubarth and Dave Agar came and played in my hometown. Rural Appalachia celebrates its history and music. One of the artifacts of this celebration is the Bristol Rhythm and Roots Reunion Festival. And the Bristol Rhythm and Roots Reunion runs a concert series in my hometown. Amber Rubarth and Dave Agar were a part of that concert series last weekend. I'll put links to some of Amber and Dave's music down in the thingamabob. I love Amber's music, and Dave is an excellent cellist, to say the least. But the music is not what I really remember about last weekend. What I most remember about last weekend is the performance. And the performance was about making communication, about making connection between the audience and the performer. I remember Amber playing her guitar. At times she seemed to float off the stage as she sang. The passion that she was able to portray to me is what sticks in my mind. She would rock forward, caught up in the meaning of the song that she was singing and the emotion of the moment, and it often seemed that she would be picked up but for the one connection she had with the ground, the microphone stand. I remember Dave Agar. He and the cello became one entity. They lived and they breathed together, and his bare feet, on point, would rock back and forth, digging into the ground, rooted in the earth, one with the soil, one with the world, one in communication with the audience. I read on Cory Doctorow's Twitter that all creation begins with an act of deconstruction. All communication begins with an act of deconstruction. That's it for now. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. That's right. Just let that sink in for a while.